Welcome to the Go Team Live, Meaning of Life, Quest HQ, with special guest Aaron Spain from the Gratitude Bear. Now, what a treat it is to have a double dose of gratitude from the Gratitude Bear and the GAIM ON system. And this podcast is all about creating a community of people that come together and have that village vibe to be able to make sense of life and personal development and finding a way to win the day with the questions that we ask ourselves. I find the value for my own learning through other people's experience being, one of the greatest ways to find out about life, because we can't live every life for every person. And there's so much wisdom and knowledge in the people that surround us if we give them the opportunity to share with us what that experience has taught them. So in the same essence, the GAIM ON app, we'd love you to download the GAIM ON app because it gives us that value of that daily check-in for gratitude, awareness, setting our intention for the day, a mindful moment, and organizing non-doing, which really has a perfect combination start to your day. So whether you get that downtime just to be able to write down your thoughts and your feelings into the app and then sharing that with our community, it really is, over the years, just created so many benefits. And as you will hear from Aaron's experience with the Gratitude Bear, just the potential in his life and the benefits that he feels in the way that the Gratitude Bear has affected his optimism for life and creating a potential and a ripple effect with young children. And, I'm so inspired by that, having kids myself, be able to create the learnings and the things there. GAIM ON offers that too for people that are maybe, beyond the bear. As much as his bear is a great system of, parents and other adults, sharing the stories with the Gratitude Bear, the morning routine aspect that we've created with GAIM ON and the community gathering that we have here with the Go Team Live are all coming together to create this powerful experience. Now, Justin, if I can ask you for a couple of words on how the podcast with Aaron made you feel, or any key thoughts or takeaways you may have.
Yeah, so it was an awesome podcast. He was a really cool guest, and I really liked his concept of the bear in general, and like its purpose and its pivot point as well, like his pivot point into coming up with it. Because there's obviously there's babies in my life all around at the moment. There's like my friends and family, and when I was going to the shop looking for like different gifts to buy, I was one of those people who looked around and was just like, these gifts kind of suck. These toys kind of suck. Like, where's all this other cooler stuff to, help, teach them things that aren't currently being taught? I would have assumed that there'd be things by now, and there wasn't. So knowing that, I'm not the only person that thinks like that, and seeing someone like Aaron out there doing that and taking the steps to make that something that is available to people, I think it's really cool. So yeah, it was an awesome podcast having him on and talk about his story and journey and the purpose behind it there. So I think it's a really good result.
Awesome. And he's an awesome guest. His energy is infectious, and I wasn't feeling 100% at all, but getting him on board, I knew, I felt safe that he was going to be able to take reins and unleash his amazing enthusiasm. So here we go with the Go Team live event featuring Aaron Spain. Roll the tape. Welcome to the Go Team Live, the community gathering from the GAIM ON community. We have a very special guest with us this evening. We have Aaron Spain, and Aaron Spain is my man because his choice of direction in the way he is doing life right now is with a business he's created called the Gratitude Bear. And it's touching on one of my favorite things of all, one of the most powerful words I know, and that is gratitude. And then packaging that to be able to create learnings and what he believes is, he's even trademarked this, what he calls Me Q. So it's a individual appreciation and being able to really feel into yourself and feel the intelligence of your uniqueness. So I'll definitely ask him about that, because I think that's incredible and I love it. And
stated this, and then the NASA people stated this as well.
okay.
Yeah.
What is that?
Glitch in the matrix there, I think.
We can edit these things out.
That's a first.
That's a first. I like what she was saying though.
What's she saying? What's she saying? We're going to send gratitude to the moon. We love it.
Something about the Matrix, was it? Yeah, so Aaron has got a wealth of talent in his body there. He's been traveling around the world, found himself finding his people in the most isolated city in the world, Perth, which I also call home and love and understand the value of connections that we get from this village vibe that we create. Because there is quite a good buzz here. I think Justin called it Wakanda the other day, because there's just this vibration of energy here, and we're all just so driven by the mining market. So but there's all sorts of beautiful startups and businesses being created right here in Perth. So it's definitely something to raise an eye about what can be achieved, even though we are in this isolated city. So Aaron's been to the best festivals on the planet. And I think for myself, when you get to be able to delve into that like lifestyle and energy of being able to see how good life can be, and then that's an inspiration to be able to try and create unique things in life, like the Gratitude Bear, like there's not many people thinking in this way. And I think that experience and being able to, party in such a way where you're just inspired and you've got this thinking mind of going, what else can we be doing? Like, I think there's so much to be said for that experimental mindset in like, okay, I'm inspired by what I see. How am I going to create that in my own life and live that as my life by creating this business? So if I've missed anything, we're going to get through it in this conversation. But thank you for coming along, Aaron. I'm super excited to be chatting with you. How are you feeling, my man?
Yeah, man, I'm pumped, man. When it comes to podcasts and lives and being given the freedom just to waffle and talk, man, I'm in my element. When people try and structure me through sentences, I'll give you a story about myself that I've learned difficulty since I'm a child that I didn't find out later on to life. Especially around form of dyslexia, that when I actually read stuff, my left eye reads from the left and my right eye reads from the right. And then when all the words meet in the middle, it jumbles up and there's a big party on the page, and I make up words, and it's brilliant. So through a lot of learning curve at the start, I used to get really embarrassed when I was really young in school. I used to be put in the corner, I used to get told I couldn't achieve this and that, till I found out later on that I would just be vulnerable on the sentence that I'm talking about and ask assistance on the word that, like I just said to you, Peter, a minute ago, I was talking to probably up there one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life, from Silicon Valley today, pitching the project to this guy and trying to onboard him as a strategic partner on his capabilities and what his knowledge. And I couldn't say the word say it again for me? Humanitarian, right? So that word gets me every time. Humanitarian. But when I was saying this to this guy, I kept getting it wrong. And he just smiled at me and he knew. When I looked at him and go, sorry, mate, I said, enjoy the moment when you laugh at me. So during this conversation today, man, just if there's a word that comes up that's new, just ask me, because I've just made it up.
I like that. You should start like a community of word builders. So yeah.
But I suppose to say what came up with Mickey in the long run, isn't it? Really, so it kind of came up to an abbreviation of something that wasn't allowed. So I was like, well, you don't want that to be allowed, I'm going to create my own one, and came up with that. We'll step into that a bit more, but I'm excited to tell you more about a unique combination of IQ, EQ, and MEQ, and why I believe it's revolutionary on the new learning curve that's about to happen through generational growth and wealth in the future.
Epic, man. Epic. Well, I'm excited to get into it. But before we start, let's just touch on a little grounding meditation so we're all can clear the space from the days we've had and bring it in. And from there, we can learn all about Aaron Spain and his amazing journey.
Amazing. And yeah, so there's a little thing that I've done through a couple of pictures over the years. And there's a slogan, a kind of back-end slogan or a motto of the company of the Gratitude Bears, and it came to me a few years ago. And it's called Create a Memory, Live the Moment. So what we do is, right, if everyone just keep your eyes open, close them, do whatever you want, whatever makes you, whatever your EQ is, wherever you just want to relax, chill out. I'm going to close my eyes. This is live. I want you to close your eyes. I just want you to take 1 or 2 just normal breaths, just chill out. And I want you just on your second or third easy breath, I just want you to feel your body relaxing and shoulders dropping. Now, I'm not going to put you through a technique of 4 seconds or 8 seconds. What I want you to do is I want you to find the breath that's unique to you. I just want you to breathe in and out, whether it's in your nose or out your mouth, in your mouth, out your nose. And just take a breath in, take a breath out. It's going to be very hard for me doing this when I'm talking. And this is a form of MEQ as well. This is something, if you were to open your eyes and look at everybody on the screen, we're all doing the same thing. We're all breathing, but we're all doing it uniquely in our own way. So we all have the capabilities of doing exactly what everyone else is doing. You just find our own uniqueness and how it's best for us. So while you're concentrating on your breathing, I want you to think about the words. Create a memory, live the moment. Create a memory, live the moment. And what this is how I came up for a lot of stuff from the Gratitude Bear, and it's a reverse engineering mechanism. So when you think about, I want you to think of something that you just want to gain, whether it's next week, a year's time, or 5 years, where it's, I don't want to put a thought in your head, but let's use that house, that car, that job. I'll leave it at that. And I want you to really focus on something unique that you want to work on in that specific time frame. And during your breath, whatever you're doing, I just want you to really focus on that moment. Or make the memory turn. I want you to create that memory in your head. I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. I want you to touch it. I want you to get into it or get out of it. Just really focus and visualize it. It's super clear. Keep breathing in and out. Keep it going. Right now that you're focused on it and you really have an attachment to it, you've created that memory. The memory's there. It's done. Now I want you to start taking a few steps back. You need to step back. I want you to stop. I want you to set a goal towards that achievement. What's it going to take me to get that? How am I going to get there? I want you to focus on that for a minute. Take a breath in and out on it. Now I want you to take another step back. Now I want you to set another goal towards that achievement. Something that's a bit lighter, a bit easier. Something that helps that goal in front of you be achieved for the memory in front. I want you to take one more step back. I'm going to take 2 more steps back now, but I want to take 1 more step back. I want you to feel a bit lighter about it. It's not as hard of achievement anymore. You've already set those 2 goals. Now you're nearly at the starting point of what you need to do. And just embracing that memory of your achievable goals. I want you to take 1 step back. Now you're on the starting line. I want you to open your eyes. I want you all now to realize there's a now living in that moment. You've now achieved that goal in your head by setting the achievements. You've visualized it, you've touched it, you've tasted it. So now you're sitting here right now. You're now about to live that memory. Create a memory, live the moment. So you're now living that moment right now of what you want to achieve. There you go, that's my little grounding thing. That's how I set the bar for a lot of things I want to achieve. And it doesn't feel as hard to achieve it now. Because the thing about it is, when you set a goal, I always try and do between 7, 8, maybe 10 step goals. So the thing about it is, when you get to the second or third step, something happens. You're only going back 1 step. Then that's an obstacle. That's a detour in the right direction. So then on step 2 again, then you move to step 6. You fail on step 6, you're only going back to step 5. You get to step 8 or 9, and there you go. The memory that you've created, you know, living in that moment again. So never take yourself, never try and set a goal that you're from here, I'm going straight for that, because if you stop at any point without you to go, hey David, good to see your face, man. See you popping in. David taught me so much about myself as well. Good to see you here.
Awesome.
And then to set that goal, you're sitting there, so you're never failing on any of your goals, just putting obstacles in the way to help achieve, to move around that. And then once you get there, it's easy. So once you get to your 8 or 9 steps, it's already achieved anyway, you're on the home road. So that's a little thing I implement into myself every time I want to do something successful, or I hit a major obstacle. So hopefully that helps in some sort of way for anyone that's listening. And yeah, practice at any time. Create a memory, live the moment. There you go.
I enjoyed that, man. I like the way you got us in my mind to be back at the starting line. That was really cool. Yeah, good view.
Thanks, brother.
All right. So in my intro, I explained a bit of your story. Now, tell us how we come to meet this man, Aaron Spain, that we have in front of us today. Like, what got you to creating a gratitude bear? I'm intrigued because it's such a stunning thing to create. I mean, I've got 4 kids, right? And so I've spent a lot of my thought process on how they come to be in an emotional, intelligent, comfortable child, like and then adult. And it's so critical. There's nothing more important to me in my entire existence to be able to create these balanced children. So
yeah, it doesn't matter. And look, I've not children yet myself, but I'm really excited for the day that they'll become a dad. And to see that, first of all, it started off with running away from everything. That's what it was. You know what I mean? Like, I had my own generational growth where it brought me to where I was for days where I had to make a decision. I either stay here or I leave. And I left Ireland. And it was probably one of the best decisions. As much as leaving family behind, my dad had just died probably a year before that. And I realized this is not what I want to be. This is not what I want to do. And I up and I left. I got my qualifications and I left and I went to New Zealand. And the day I landed there, it went. Everything was gone. You know what I mean? It didn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? I've made this choice. I'm here. I'm in this place. And I lived in New Zealand for a couple of years and fell in love with just everything. Life, grass, sun, people, everything. And then I started realizing that I wasn't stupid. Where I've been getting told my whole life you're stupid. You know what I mean? You're not this. You can't read properly. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're never gonna evolve into something. You know what I mean? And my learning curve, God bless him now, my dad, like was me reading a book, and he had to. I'll never forget. He used to have this. Either it was like a bamboo stick or a stick off a cough or something like it was. And every time I got a word wrong, he hit me with it. You know what I mean? So I had to learn and adapt quick because that was his way. He knew no other way. You know, that was his learning curve. You know, you're not going to be successful unless you're resilient and you're strong. So that was his way. He had a military background style. He had a rough upbringing. So he just implemented on me what he could. And I always knew it wasn't right. You know what I mean? But it got me relaxed. It got me patient. It got me under stressful moments. Sit back and go, okay, what do we need to do here? We need to adjust. I need to look at this. And especially around the learning curve I had when I was, like, my dad never understood. The teachers never knew. For me reading books that all this craziness was happening in my head and I wasn't reading it properly. Where what my dad got me to do was, I had all my own journals. So whatever I learned in school that day, he got me to write my own paragraph in my own book. And what happens is by the end of each semester, I had a full book of notes and I didn't even need to revise for the exam because it was all in my own little book. And I had to read my own paragraphs. And that's how I excelled. You know, that's how I got to a point that I used the fuel as being told I was stupid to get where I was. And then the first chance I got out there. I ran. This is right. Let's see what this world has to offer. Went to New Zealand, loved it. Went to Cambodia, lived in all different places. Absolutely loved the different capabilities and achievements I was getting for myself. Then I landed in Perth. And then through that, and a couple of guys here know a lot of people that we know in Perth, like through Kenny Buck and Tim Morrison and a few of these guys that I started off with doing this work with. And there was a lady, I can't remember her name, she was doing a 28-day gratitude course. And this is where it really hit me, because this was the first turning into the man that I wanted to be. And as I used to tell everyone, I want to be authentic. I always, and the same with Jeremy used to teach me, I'm being unapologetically authentic. And I never understood those words till I started meeting the people like David Rowe and stuff and Jobby and really understanding what it was to be the truer version of yourself. And then doing all of that, but I was doing a 28-day gratitude course. And I'm not going to lie, 14 days in, I broke down really bad because I didn't even know what gratitude was. It's only a word. It's so simple, you know? And I was sitting there going, this is why, if I'm only learning this now, does everybody else know it? Like, does everyone else know that these simple tools on a daily basis can change your mindset from the first second that you wake up? I think I'm probably wrong in this, but there's like the minds, your brain works at 400 microseconds faster or milliseconds faster in the morning for the first 20 minutes. So whatever you implement into your mindset in the first 20 minutes affects how you are for the rest of the day. Now, that's not scientifically fact, but that's something I read, and you know what I mean? I'm not here to prove any concepts, but it's something I live by, you know? So you do that, set them, put on a good music, put on something, do your gratitudes, do your journaling, go for a swim. You know what I mean? 20 minutes is nothing, you know, get up 20 minutes earlier. Whoop-de-doo, your life's going to be better. Happy days, you know what I mean? It's exciting. But to fall into that, I was like, what is gratitude? And then it starts falling underneath the banner of emotional intelligence, which is all about managing, perceiving, using your emotions in certain ways to make it better. Then I started learning about that. And then with the breakdown that you had, I was like, imagine I had this 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And I was like, imagine 40 years ago. And then the click went, imagine my mum and dad had this 30 years ago. And they didn't, you know what I mean? So this is where the evolution for me changed. This is how is it possible that we can change the learning curve in children that are being born today, but implementing it into parents on a daily basis? Simple. What do we all do to our kids? We study time and play. You know what I mean? We read the books. They have their teddy bears. They have their dolls, which are technically anchors and companions. So two anchors and companions, scientifically proven techniques from visual, touch, audible, are implemented into toys. Now, the problem I found with this was that toys in society today are based on ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Most of them are. You know what I mean? There is emotional intelligence toys, apps, books coming out now in the last 5 years, possibly, you know, but it's still, you walk into any shopping centre there, you walk into Big W, it's all, there's one thing that caught me, and I'm not branding here, I'm not naming brands here, but there's a doll that my niece had, and this was one of the pivoting points. Well, my niece was only 3 years of age, and she had this doll, Baby Born, I think it was called. Beautiful concept, great, you know what I mean? Brilliant, you know? But she was 3 years of age, and at 10 o'clock she had to feed the baby. 12 o'clock she'd change the baby's nappy. 2 o'clock she'd put the baby to bed. And I'm like, my niece is 3, man. What are you doing? Like, and my sister's looking at me going, well, that's what it is. And I goes, it's a fashion toy. I understand, but you're implementing modern day learning curves that she's a mother at 3 years of age. You know what I mean? I said, it's not right. Yeah. So she looked at me and said, you make a toy then. So I did.
My son,
there's a longer.
My son loves this teddy called a Mixie. I was hoping you'd come over. Everybody, I told Aaron maybe not come over because I'm not feeling 100%. I didn't want to get this freight train off his rails. Now, a Mixie, he loves this Mixie, and he's like a 7-year-old boy. I had some money for him, and I'm like, right, we'll go to the shop and we'll buy you a Mixie, like, you know, if that's what you want for your birthday, because he's already got one at his mum's house. And we walk into the girls section. He's like, I don't know why we're going in here. And I'm like, dude, this is where we'll find a Mixie, my man.
Yeah, right.
And you know, he's like, but he loves this teddy, you know, and it has like these little elements of talking and that, and drives everyone crazy. But man, he loves that teddy, and he'll bring it everywhere. And you know, he's not ashamed. You know, maybe he's not completely unashamed, because he told a girl at school, you know, he's like, oh, I like Mixies too, but don't tell anybody. But yeah, man, the teddy is a tool. As much as I think bears, you know, have potential to cause, you know, genuine harm. We've had teddy bears to cuddle since we were, you know, forever. I don't know when that started, but yeah, tell us about the bear itself. How does it work, man?
Yeah, so last week, so I was in a trip in Dubai there 2 weeks ago, and we actually fortunate enough, the guys sent over the final phase 3 prototype of the bear. There's still a few things to fix on it, but we'll talk about that in a minute going into mass production. But let me just switch her on. There we go. On that thing. So just to let you know, right, so this is the original MVP. A lot of people would have seen this one. This is the one we made 2 years ago, and this has all battery. This was proven concept and vision to make sure that everything that we're creating is viable, it can be done. Then we went on to the new one. We went to the DFM foil because obviously we couldn't have this one as like the buttons for kids and everything was loose and kids be choking on eyeballs and stuff. So we had to implement it all into a different way. Then we went from that to this one here, DFM foil. Now they made them. The guys decided to go total opposite direction. So every dimension I gave them, they went the opposite side. Now look, imagine a 2-year-old trying to carry him about the place. It's massive book. He's the phase 1 prototype, fully functional prototype of how he's working. And up to recently then, we've got a little buddy here. And this is the nearly full version mass. We still have to get into mass production prototype, but this is the one that's going to prove concept, everything, and this is the one that's going to get us to the market. Now I just want to make sure it's switched on here. Oh yeah. Okay. Hold on, I don't want to round the buzz. Hold on. I pressed them too early. Yeah. So what we've done is, we've created an assistive toy. So this is your anchor. This is your companion. Scientifically proven techniques from audible, visual, and touch, squeezable touch, different sensories. Now we also, on par with that, as I said, is how are we going to educate the parents? So we created an educational content book that has story time and fun in it. So when you actually open up the book here, I go on to the first page. So we based it on, we had to change the word from chakras because there was a lot of questionable identity around spiritual intelligence. And we want this to go out to everybody marker around the world. You know what I mean? So we changed it from chakras to superpowers, and we used the characteristics of each superpower and based it on a story of gratitude, which gave us 7 different stories that were fundamentally and principles based on their characteristics. So in this first one here, this is our little buddy here. He's the mind bear. So the mind bear, the voice bear, the confident bear, the brave bear, all these sorts. Because we're not giving them names because they're diverse. You want your if they want to be a boy or a girl, they just want to be a teddy bear. If you want it to be a horse, it can be a horse. You know what I mean? We can all keep it as we want to be. So now we have on the left hand side is we have the gratitude. So as I said, every day we should be implementing gratitude into our life. So this story, this is the first story, the characteristic of top superpower is connection. So we have a story here. So the parent's going to read this. So what in each page we've implemented IQ, EQ, and MEQ without them even the parents knowing about it. So with the educational learning curve on this, we have implemented techniques and practices that help trigger parents through stories from in place. And we've implemented little ideas and tasks and like the story on confidence. How do you give a 4-year-old, 3-year-old confidence by giving them as many choices as possible as an early age? Choices, and then later on in life, how that affects them by making the proper choices and the confidence that they have within themselves. And that's a simple early tool to implement. So the parent reads the gratitude on the left, the kids hold the bear. We're going to press number 1, which is on number connection, and we go, oh. You know what I mean? Accurate, to the point. Parents are learning. Kids, look, kids at the age of 0 to 4, when as David taught me as well, they're generating a core limit of beliefs and the personalities by the time they're 7 through the theta version. So the more you implement in them, like, you know, giving them more confident words, giving them bigger strategies, bigger techniques, all of this issuing this through a learning curve. Kids are going to, generational growth is going to stem up really, really high. But with parents on this, it's implementing as many things to parents. Because like I was saying to you before, Philip, Peter, if we only put this into early development centers where the facilitators are teaching the kids are going to grow up for emotional intelligence. You know, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be on point. But what about the parents? What about the parents who don't know? The kids are going, you think about it now, as I said to you earlier on, there's a new style of maths, of learning how to do maths now compared to when we were kids. And your kids are going to come home and they're going to say, Mom and Dad, I need hand with multiplication, addition. And you're going to look at this and go, oh my God, what's this? That's IQ. What are they going to do when it's EQ? You know what I mean? When the kids are coming back with more resilience, more understanding, love, self-love. You know what I mean? We need to incorporate this into our own life. And this is how we're doing it.
Yeah.
By creating these stories. Like next story is on imagination and creativity. And next one's on expression. Next one's on self-love. Next one's on confidence. Next one is on protection. And the next one is on the health and well-being. And also what we put in, and this is all, so as much as the ideology and the concept come from myself, we also, I'm not accredited, you know what I mean? I only have life experience. So we found some of the best people in the field, like Ush Danik, leading expert from EQ Academy in Sydney. She's come in, researched everything with me, accredited everything I've done, signed off on it. We've gotten creative writers to do everything. But this is a good point that we want to run the back. If I'm talking to you about the tools of connection, or imagination or expression. If I used to ask all yous in the room now, you to come back with a different, I suppose, the word methodology of a version of what it is that you think it is. So in each one of the back, we've come up with a unique, diverse explanation that is also not only educating the parent, but it's giving them the tools and skills to be able to implement it into the child's life while educating themselves. So as I said, there's 7 stories along the whole Bible. That's another one here. As you can see here, here's glow on, and then you go.
The camera view is really cool.
So that's right.
Love it. That's cool, man.
That's the starting point.
Good starting point. You're off to a great start. I can my head is spinning on all of the extra, bits and pieces that you put together over time, and cartoons, and maybe you get yourself a feature movie.
In the mind frame of what we're doing, we've actually made 20 books, not produced 20 books, but we've created 3 on gratitude. So in the 3 books, there's 21 gratitudes. So what we done was quite smart. I've done about 2 years ago is I hit up about 20 or 30 mothers that I had in my group, just from family at home and friends, and I asked them, could they write me out 10 gratitudes that they would love to implement into their child's life now for the future. Now reverse that around a little bit. So we're actually asking a parent that to ask about the kid, they're actually dropping themselves in their own childhood and wanting to see what they actually wanted for themselves. So then when we got around robin of about, I reckon we got about 100 to 150 different gratitudes in. I don't look at a breakdown. What was the top 10? What was the top 7? Break it down. But that falls into characteristic 1, 2, 3, 7. Done that and got the top 7 that we needed. But in return, we actually got the top 21. So we got the top 21 gratitudes that parents want to implement into their own childhood. You know what I mean? So it was genius how we done it. And then we have the first 3 books focusing on the gratitude books. Then after that, we have the focus book. So each focus book concentrates on each bear itself. So we have the mind bear. Now, I don't know whether anyone's been following the socials or not. We actually started a new content series this week, and it's quite fun, man. I'm actually really enjoying it. We're actually creating the personality and the characteristics and the attributes behind the model of each bear. So that means each bear has its own, I'm not going to say horoscope, but it is, you know what I mean? Who is this bear? What did he do? And what's the point of them? And we're going to be rolling out that campaign over the next 7 weeks. So having that rolling into that, I'm at the losing track of what I'm saying now. See what happens now.
I'll pull you. Tell me, I'd love to know some of those top 7 gratitudes if you can remember.
Yeah, the first 7 was connection. So a lot of it was I want a big connection with my family. I want all my kids to have be civil, be connected forever. You know what I mean? Like being brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, cousins, and all that.
That was number 1.
Say that again.
Was that number 1?
Yeah, number 1 was connection. So how we actually wrote a story on connection was the first day of school. So when the parents bring the kids to school on the first day, when nanny and grandma and the cousin is all there and the kids all there to school, the whole family come together. So once again, you're giving tools to parents on the first day of school. One of the first big thing that happens to a kid in his life when they're going out on their own is the first day of school. You know, so giving tools and methodology around that. The second one was on imagination and creativity. Who does not want their child to be creative and imaginative, which most kids are? They blow you away when they come up with some of the crazy stuff they come up with. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Like the brains are phenomenal. The next one is expression. They wanted the kids to be able to express, to be able to feel free, to be able to talk about anything they wanted to. That's a big one as well, because the more expression you put into a child when they're younger, and he's not having kids, you want your kids to be protected when they're 14, 15, 16, when they're going through that transfer stage of them getting used to their own ego and kind of getting bullied into doing things they don't want to do. So you want them to be able to express themselves and go, no. Or to ring their dad and say, here, I'm after messing up here, mom, or I'm after messing up here, dad. Having the free will to know that they can trust their parents to express themselves to it. That was a big one for us. The next one was self-love. You know what I mean? We don't need to explain that one. You know what I mean? 100%. Next one is confidence. I explained that one a minute ago. Like, I think for me, that's a big one for me. And that's one of the main stories that I wrote on confidence really, really got for me, because I've met so many different people in my life as adults that can't make choices. You just can't. Like, say, what you want for dinner? Oh, I don't know. You choose. What you want to go to the cinema? What you want to do today? Do you want to go here? Do you want to do that? What you want to do? You struggle. I'm like, then you look back into their childhood and it's like the mom and dad made all these choices for them, and then they've made loads of different mistakes, including myself, during their lifespan or their milestones. And like, You know what I mean? Incorporate as much confidence into your 2 and 3-year-old, 4-year-old as much as possible by giving them as many choices. What would you like for dinner today? Would you like broccoli and peas, or would you like this and this? They're like, oh, we're on broccoli and peas. So when you give them the dinner, they're going to sit there and look, I don't want that, but you chose it. You know what I mean? It's changing the mindset and framework of child from a young age. And then you also go, well, where are we going to have dinner? Are we going to have dinner at the table, or are we going to have a picnic on the floor? Well, I'm having a picnic on the floor. I don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? So giving them choices, making a fun dinner time situations like that. Next one is protection. So what we wrote in this is, I'm so grateful for parents because I know they'll always be there for me. That goes back to expression, but it's actually grounding in that, your parents are protection. You know what I mean? Family members are protection, or, brothers and sisters. I can go to them with problems. And this is like a big one around high rate in suicides at the minute on cyberbullying. Massive. You know what I mean? Like kids getting bullied on. It's one thing when it used to be happening out on the road. When I was a kid, I used to get hit with baseball bat or something, go home, tell me dad, and he'd hit me for getting hit. You know what I mean? But now it's different. People are getting mentally hit online, which is it's scary. You know what I mean? I've never experienced it. You know what I mean? But I couldn't imagine what it's like, and this is a big implement what we're going to in the future. So it's creating that protection.
Feels bad. It feels like your whole world's just caved in. If it was a social, it's one. I do not envy these kids.
Someone trolling you from Kenya that's never met you before, you know what I mean? Like, what? Go away, mate. You know what I mean? I'm only saying that because I'll pester my COO, you say, man, he's from Kenya. So I'm not picking up he's from Kenya. And then the last one is health and well-being, which is, I'm grateful for the food that I have. You know what I mean? This is something parents always want their kids to be healthy, to be safe, to be eating good, to be fitness, to have hobbies, you know what I mean? And whether I apologize, I don't say the word disabilities, I say different capabilities, you know what I mean? And each kid has different capabilities, which is going to also, it says, make them unique in their own way. So that was the top 7 that we got. I have a full list. I'll send you on the full list of everything that we got. But that just breaks down how we got the principles of how to write the first book, because it's what people were kind of telling us they wanted in a subliminal way,
Yeah, nice.
So put the 2 of them together. You have an educational platform that allows parents to learn while stimulating their child in a way.
Yeah, man. I love nothing more than reading my kids' stories. So I'm down with it. I think it's fantastic. Now, gratitude. I absolutely love the power of gratitude. I remember a few months back, I had an absolute disaster, and I just came home and I wrote down a page of things I was grateful for, and it just rights the ship. And I just felt so much better for just getting all of these things down. And yeah, it just made me feel so supported, like I have enough, I've been here before, I can do this. Now, tell me, gratitude in your life, you're obviously living and breathing it every day with the Gratitude Bear. But what's something that you could share that has made an impact from sharing gratitude or the work in gratitude that you're doing for your own journey, over this course, how it's affected you by just honing in on gratitude?
Oh, if we can do one thing first, is we can challenge you on something that you said there, and that's based on what you said on your own gratitude that day. So if we could ask you, and this is a tool that I learned, when you came home and you said you wrote down all your gratitudes, can you explain to me how you done it?
I just wrote down in a book.
Yeah, so you just said, I am grateful for the food.
I just did an absolute dump. Yeah, I just went
So there's one tool that I did learn years ago, and this is what I practiced today. That's why I challenge you to give it another version. And everyone has their own way, so there's nothing right or wrong. But what I always do is, I always say what I'm grateful for, the reason why, and say thank you at the end. And that's it's 3 simple steps. So, look, I'm very grateful for you today, Peter, because you had to give me the opportunity to spread the word on your podcast. Thank you. You know what I mean? And that's it. You're holding space for it. It's the affirmation at the start. I am. Then it's putting a purpose to it, and then it's saying thank you. You know what I mean? And that's just something that I've always done. So on my gratitude journey, that's something I always do. So look, I'm not going to pivot myself as an absolute angel when it comes to gratitude. You know what I mean? I am, like I said, I practice as frequently and often as I can, and it's not as if I always go up every morning and do it. But sometimes I feel myself a bit distressed and a bit out there, I just go, whoa, calm down, what's going on, take a step back, sit in the hammock, sit in the chair, do something, ring out Pesh, freaking out here, mate. You know what I mean? What's going on? Be grateful for this man that he's able to put up with all my chaos and my madness. You know what I mean? So implementing that. So once I kind of start getting the structure and understanding that, that's when I grew into the emotional intelligence of understanding different words, of managing, perceiving, and understanding my emotions. So where did this come from, Ian? Like, as a couple of the boys here now, I worked on the mine sites for nearly close up to 8 years, running some of the biggest mine sites in WA, and became I blanked my way onto the supervisor job. They thought I was going to fail it. The success rate is 75% in the job that we're doing. Somehow I got 125%. Okay? Now, I didn't do that now through IQ. I done that through my EQ, people management skills. It's known I'm vulnerably putting myself in a position. I'm not the smartest person in the room. But guess what? I do have the smartest people in the room. And this is what I had with these guys that I worked with. The last job I was on, I had 50 guys working for me. I knew everything about them, from the family to their kids to their upbringing, everything. I spent 1 hour with each of them a week. So it was only 50 hours a week, and we 90-something hours while I was on the job. And I learned as much about these people as I could have possible every week, and I kept in tune. So there's no point putting a jobby there. No point putting jobby on an electrician job when he's a carpenter, you know what I mean, or whatever he does, you know what I mean? You find specifically what that person's good at. This is where people management comes in. Have gratitude, be grateful for the opportunity you have, the platform you have to perform. And then because with me, the platform I had to perform helped me with the success of the gratitude bear. So then once you can implement this into all of these people's lives, people thought I was mad when I met them at the start. They go and say, what are you grateful for today? I said, well, what do you recognize as self-love? What are you understanding or acknowledging in your life that's a bit messed up at the minute? You know what I mean? Boy, what I'm learning from. I'm getting them just to talk to me about it, just standing back asking the question. And we're implementing that into all these people's lives. Our job went up 25 to 30% on just the economical scale of gratitude. You know what I mean? If you want to put it into a business there, is teaching people on that. Then it's people being comfortable to come and talk to you, putting people in the right positions, learn about them. And then we had it. No, that's what putting her on the job front. Then just in my own personal life, just being as open and vulnerable and straightforward to people as possible, being authentic. As I said, I love the word authentic, and I'm really working on that all the time to be the best version of myself. And I'm always finding new versions. So don't be afraid to dive in, be vulnerable, challenge yourself, find the right people in your community that can really help you adjust and grow to the person you want to be. And then your eyes just opens. So I don't know whether that answers your question.
Aaron, I think you've sort of slid past a fair bit there, because just being on the journey with yourself, and when we went to Dubai and quite a few things, every moment I spend with Aaron, I hear him say, "Oh, thank you to whoever we are interacting with, or grateful for giving you an opportunity." There's always any interaction that I've had with you, with like even when we lined up the Web3 media, the media interview, and you were like, "Oh, grateful! I'm so grateful for this opportunity," and those were the first words that came straight out of your mouth, and that wasn't because that was a pre-rehearsed or anything like that. It's just that's the way you operate. So it's, I think you miss. You don't let very many people know, but you actually practice it all the time. Yes, as Justin just said, yeah, live and breathe it all the time.
Well, it's hard. It's not easy to see the difference in yourself as other people can see in you. And I know Justin was saying that when I was asking him one time, like how he feels like, about gratitude in his life with the Game On app. And he said, well, maybe it's easier for other people to see it in me than me. So that's a
so you don't really see how you walk, do you? You can see how other people walk, but you're still walking at the same time. You know what I mean? It's a weird analogy, but you're just getting through it. So who you are, it's like it's a lot of people say like it's one of the easiest thing in the world to be is be kind. It's so easy. You know what I mean? It's just be kind. Just show love, be kind. If someone doesn't want to be kind back to you, I'm sorry, Dave, I'm robbing your words. It's not your story. It's not your story. Once you start realizing that none of that belongs to you, that's there. Help them. Be a system. Be careful with, as Jeremy will tell you, he taught me, be careful with the support you're giving, because sometimes your support can be judgment. You know what I mean? Sit back, listen. If they ask you for your support, give it. Do it. There's all these tools that you start implementing over so many times through all different people and all different journeys you have. And then it's just like, I get it now. Sit back, watch, listen, and walk. You know what I mean? And it's all going to come. And that's how a lot of this will come. And the last year, I'm not messing that. This last year's probably I've been through a lot since I was a child, upbringings, deaths, moving away, breakups, all this sort of stuff. And this year's probably been one of the hardest I've ever gone through. Mainly because it's when you understand why people say to you, having a startup, making your own company, it's not for everyone. So it's one of the hardest things you can ever do. And I was like, oh man, I've been successful at nearly everything I put my hand to. You know what I mean? Because I set these goals and I create these memories and I live them and I step by step and I build the surroundings and the foundation and I surround myself by the experts that can do it. But this one, it's a test by the universe, as they say. You know what I mean? I don't want to go too spiritualist in this, but you're gifted certain things in life. You know what I mean? There's a reason why this was given to me, and the gratitude bear, IQ, EQ, and MeQ. What's MeQ? I tell everyone MeQ is it's how you identify yourself in the most unique way, and you use these attributes. And people are like, where does this come from? I'm like, I don't know, man. It's not going to be like, but you have to trust in it. You know what I mean? You have to follow the pathway, and you have to keep going. And you know, and it's hard because when you're in your own, and this is what I just learned recently, when you're in your own comfortable bubble with all your amazing people around you doing all the same work, you just step outside of that bubble, like you go to Dubai, and you're in the corporate world again. You know what I mean? In the corporate world, we need the corporate world. There's one thing I tell everyone, that what we're doing is we're not trying to break any system. Like the system is in place. It's doing a good job in parts where we disagree or don't agree. There's a system in place, and it's gotten us to where we are now. And I'm so grateful for that getting us there. But what the gratitude bear is doing is it's just putting in new skills and new tools into the system that's going to help it. Whether the people want to accept or not or decline or not, it's going to be a matter of it's going to come upon them eventually. Whether it's the growth of society, the way it's going at the minute, like we're all going to be dead in 40 years, maybe 50. You know what I mean? Depends. We're all going to be dead. Everything that's happening in the world right now is already happened. You know what I mean? Look, I don't want to dive too much into like. I promised I wouldn't talk too much about it. Like, go boy, and I'll touch on one sentence on it. Like the gratitude bear is an educational tool that develops kids' and parents' emotions from a young age. Okay, using a unique combination of IQ, EQ, and MeQ. And MeQ is the one that like I've created, I've developed, and I stem from. You know what I mean? This is what I want to push across as many people as possible. I want to do talks on MeQ. I want to understand people understand that you have all this. Now, in the sentence after this is we're enhancing into the metaverse. I'm not going to get down that rabbit hole, everyone. But the reason why we're doing it is we are developing an educational platform that allows anyone from around the world to learn from a gamified curriculum while earning a passive income. No one in the world has done it. It's called #LearnToEarn. The more you learn, or the more your kids learn, anyone learn, is they're creating a generational growth and wealth. So your kid comes home from school, he's either learning Japanese history, just to throw one out there. He comes in, he goes, man, I have no understanding what that happened in school that day. Don't worry, son, jump onto the gratitude bear, jump on the gratitude land. You get in there, you go to the history museum on it, you walk in there on the game of fight, you go in, you're fighting Japanese history, and you're playing a game based on Japanese history while learning pocket money, and then you go back to school and you're a Japanese history expert. See you later. Grand job. Thanks. You know what I mean? Fucking happy day. Parents are going, go play your game there, you know what I mean? No, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, which because I told a few people I wouldn't go down. I don't want to lose the crowd, but what would it all falls back to the generation, like a teddy bear book, story time and play, and how we're going to grow from that. We've an app in the midst of it. It's phenomenal what the team is doing, and like we've people from all around the world diving into this. What's our challenges at the minute? It's funding. You know what I mean? That's a big one for us at the minute. It's trying to get different types of funding. They call it bootstrapping. Bootstrapped this for 2.5 years on my own, self-driven, self-funded, and now it gets to a stage like one of the biggest CEOs in the world from Shisha Finance says to me 2 weeks ago, you need to stop self-funding it. You need to go get the help, Aaron. You know what I mean? The next stage isn't this 10 grand or 100 grand thing. You need 500 grand. You need 1 million in a year's time. Go out, get your message to the world. How we're starting to display that message is through social media, content plan, traction, some sort of FOMO to get investors in. And I don't know, you see him, Kerry, that's there, Matty and Matty Give, like they are really going to start homing in to help me get that marketing message across, pushing on why MeQ is so important in the development of yourself and future generations and how we're going to flow into that, you know what I mean? So one thing we're on a big, and this is why it's been so hard for me the last year, because I stepped away from the safety net of my own money that I was making an amazing job, but now I'm sitting here going, ooh, money's starting to run out. I have to start doing this and that. You know what I mean? What do I do to this? And you get tested and challenged through a gift you've been given. So I'm sitting here, like, I'm just like, right. So we're on a massive investment campaign. Big shout out to any investors that want to have an impact on humanity. Give us a shout, please. The sneaky plug. But no,
No, don't be shy.
journey.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Hey, do you know what the meaning of bootstrapping is? Like how, you know, it's if you pick up your own bootstraps and see if you can lift yourself up. Like you can raise yourself up just by pulling on your bootstraps and pulling your feet up.
I've holes in my boots.
Not easy to do. Not easy to do. You need some investment for sure to get to the stage that you're looking at. I'd love to get to the question for our community about the meaning of life. Now, the value of questions, can really change your life. So how you, who you spend your time with and the conversations you have, or, what media you're focusing in on and watching or reading, to things like the Gratitude Bear and what discussions you're having around gratitude, to Game On by going through that series of questions in your morning routine creates that potential for your day and then your life. So for what we've got here, and an opportunity for our guests to ask us a question that can uncover that little gem or perception shift or something that we can learn from. I'd like to ask you, Aaron, where your head was at to be able to get you to the question that you have for us today.
It's very simple. Like, I might as well just say the question before, because it's like, because I'm going to ask everyone is, what are you grateful for? But it's a two-part question, because I want you to ask what you're grateful for internally and what you're grateful for externally, and why, and a thank you at the end. And that's actually, I think the last 55 minutes explains that question.
All right, got it. Well, there's a few people on the call, so we'll get through it. So the opportunity is to anyone, if they so choose to answer, you may, no obligation, but you can put your hand up and you can join the queue, because Zoom has this feature where your hand goes up. Maybe mine doesn't because I'm a host or something, but we've got one raised. But I'll shoot first. So I'm grateful that I could be here tonight, because I genuinely felt crook, and my alchemy of herbs and drugs and cacao and resting and getting myself ready. So I'm stoked that I'm here and feeling as good as I am. That is remarkable. That's remarkable how the body can work when we push it to get up and get ready for something. And then externally, I'm just stoked. I've got a roof above my head. I got some stability in that aspect of my life, because it's when you don't have one that you really realize the difference in how challenged your whole life becomes. So yeah, that's as simple as it gets. Like, just the simplest thing. There's some stability in my life. Aaron, what about your answer before we get to the audience?
Okay, well, I'm going to use the one externally that I used straight away, because I didn't want to use that to the end. But Peter, I am very grateful for you for giving me this opportunity and this platform to perform and let everyone understand my concept and my vision. So thank you for that. Internally, I'm grateful for my imagination and creativity based on the dreams. I always tell people, don't give up on hopes and dreams, keep pushing. So I'm grateful for the resilience I have towards my hope and dream, because they're really helping me achieve and get where I am. So thank you.
Yeah, I forgot to say thank you. Thank you. I've got an opportunity now. Yeah. Thanks. All right, Alpesh, you're keen to chime in. Let's hear from Alpesh.
So when we talk about gratitude, internal gratitude for me has been the opportunity to work with obviously Aaron and allowing myself to work with Aaron as well, which was through my own self-development journey, where I actually met Aaron, and then sort of we kicked it off from that point, and Aaron was already on his journey. So internally, I'm very grateful that I had that opportunity to, while doing breath work and other yoga and things like that, that I actually didn't rush off as quickly as I should have that day. And grateful for that opportunity to have with Aaron. And externally, grateful to be in Australia, to be fair. Being brought up in Africa and then moved around the world, have lived in the UK, Japan, San Diego, so I've lived in a fair few places around the world. But just grateful every time. I tell my kids all the time. I'm grateful that I live in such a wonderful place. And, they're like, but Dad, travel. I'm like, yeah, but still come back home. So definitely grateful for that. And thank you for the opportunity, all you guys, to listen to my voice. And now I'll keep quiet from this point. Thank you.
Thanks for your share. Carrie Christie, welcome.
Hi, we are here.
Got a power out.
We're sat in the dark watching you guys on the screen.
That's all right.
We'll move into the light so you can see us. Come on, mate.
It can be a podcast audio, so that's okay too.
But we are here. See?
I see your teeth.
Yeah. Good one, Aaron. So my internal gratitude is for a bit like Aaron's, strength and resilience. I get knocked down 10 times and I get up 11. So as we all know. And my external is my community. There is no way on this earth that I would be here without my community and the beautiful people that I've had surrounding me for this past 6 years. So thank you. I'm very grateful.
Thanks, Kerry.
Hey, everyone. How are you?
Sounds like a lot of voiceovers.
Yeah. Firstly, you guys are doing an amazing job. This podcast is epic. I'm just loving it. So well done to you guys. Firstly, I am grateful. So internally, I guess I'm grateful for myself and always just pushing through life, and just so proud of myself at how far I've come. And I know just over the past few years, I've just gotten better and better, and just every day I'm just getting better, and I'm just loving the journey. And externally, same as Kerry, just community, family, just friends and support. At the end of the day, it's the most important thing in the world. Just that love for everyone, and I'm forever grateful for it. So thank you.
Beautiful, thank you.
Hello, people. How you doing?
Hello, brother.
Hello, son. Lovely to see you, mate. I've been watching your journey, obviously, it's great to see, great to witness, mate. Just keep pushing on, never ending, Well done, mate.
Thanks for giving me a lot of the gifts and tools that I needed to get here, and you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So thank you, brother.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure. Yeah. My external gratitude would be, as you said, as you're asking, I've got my 8-month-old granddaughter living with her, and I would say that's one of the biggest things I'm so grateful for. It's just incredible having her in this house. The connection we've got is just beautiful, So that would be my big external one. The internal one, I was running late because I just finished a Kriya yoga meditation, which goes for about an hour. So, but I would say my internal one is just feeling this stillness and peace, which I feel after I've had my meditation. So beautiful. And thanks for the opportunity. And again, thanks, Pete. Great job, mate. And just keep doing your stuff, And I'm Justin, of course. And thanks, lads. It's lovely to see some, friendly faces and that, Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, Dave, man. 100%. Thanks for everything, honestly.
Jeremy.
Hey, I just made it out of my bed. The lads loving it, absolutely loving it. Internal gratitude, man. Gratitude for gratitude. How amazing is it to have something that focuses your attention and your energy? When you are grateful on something, you're focusing on the things that you have in your life. It's not it's not something that you believe you deserve, or it's not something that you feel is owed. It is just something that you've got and you're just grateful to have it. So having a gratitude, having a focus on what you do want, and then just allowing that to like fill you with gratitude. External, I'm absolutely loving what you're doing with the toy, like with the gratitude bear, because I got my baby boy. He's going to be born in like 9 weeks. So I'm so grateful that there is a toy like this that's coming through, and I cannot wait to have it for him.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you in the morning.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Justin, thanks, man.
Yeah, I'll go. So internally or externally, I'll do them in either order. But I am grateful that, Peter, you are feeling better, because I really was worried and nervous that I might have to host again. And I was not ready and prepared for that. And I was like, please, Peter, pull through. So I am grateful for that, and that you were able to come on and resume your duties and make this an awesome podcast. I'm also internally grateful for the day I've had today. I woke up like nice and early. I got up out of bed. I just started making waves. I was, had the sun coming through the window, and I was just like able to connect to that space, like from the very first, second I woke up, and like kick ass today all day. Like there wasn't a moment today that I didn't feel on it. So, I'm grateful that I was able to, rest well, get up, look at it with that fresh perspective, connect with that gratitude first thing in the morning. And I'm thankful. Thank you to myself, and thank you to, the universe for just giving me this morning. Like it was a great way to start the day.
Thank you, Justin. Love your work, man. We got David. Nice to see you, David.
Hi. I've been busy on all sorts of other things, so my apologies for not getting down there. Only my internal gratitude is the mastering of patience, tolerance, and the freedom just to be me. That's a freeing up of all sorts of things hanging me back, which are beautiful to master. Externally, I've been able to get a great connection with policy advisors and ministers in the state government, which is I'm so grateful for, because it's making my journey at the moment trying to get cat containment in WA a lot easier. Even although it's a hard road, they're welcome to talk to me any time at the moment, whereas 4-6 months ago, I would have to ring every second day, and they would give me all sorts of excuses, and they'll ring you back, which never happens. So that's a whole heap of gratitude in all sorts of different ways. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Do it.
Good to see you.
Joby.
Hey guys, I'd have to be grateful internally for my own age and experience. Just had a birthday a couple of weeks ago, so I'm shot over to Bali by myself and done some self-healing over there for myself. So pretty grateful for how old I've gotten. And my external gratefulness would be the young people living around me. I've got 18 and 22-year-olds up on the mine site that I'm teaching at the moment. I've got my 17 and 19-year-old daughters at home. They've brought into our house a 24-year-old homeless boy. So he lives out in his car out on our front lawn, but we've sort of welcomed him into our house. And I've got an 18-year-old niece that comes and lives with me every 2 weeks. So just grateful for all the young people that I can give experience to. Thank you.
Love it, bro. That's
Beautiful,
awesome,
man. It's such a heartwarming thing to do, is open your house up. And that, like I said, my gratitude was for the structure of which I live, and it's the simple things, right, that we need to be able to tick. And if yeah, if you can help people out, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyone else like to share? Feels good. Happiness shared is an absolute beautiful experience.
Everyone's good.
I'll go.
All right, go on. Go on, Mandy.
Cool. So I feel grateful that I can sit at home and listen to a beautiful conversation here where everyone is so very vulnerable. I really appreciate Pete for having the podcast here every week, because I like some intelligent conversations that you never know where they're going, and where people just exchange ideas or where they add what they've gone through and what occupies their mind at the moment. So I'm really grateful for that, because talking about the weather and what I had to eat yesterday is just not deep enough for me. And so I find that really, really stimulating. I look forward to every Wednesday to come onto the podcast. And externally, I'm really grateful to live in a safe home now where I can sit here peacefully and safely, knowing that no one will interrupt me or I don't have to fear my safety. And I can just voice whatever comes up for me here, and my voice is heard. So I'm very grateful for everyone that comes on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy. Beautiful.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Mandy. Ramses, you're kidding me. Your voice is rich, like a I don't know, like a fine wine. You can share, but you're not obliged.
It's just pretty. I'm sorry, it's just pretty loud where I am.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I'm on my way to work. I'm on the other side of the world. So
okay.
It's early morning.
Sweet, man. Hey, lovely to see you check in though. Thanks very much, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, wish you, bro.
Yeah, I love the emails. I read all the emails.
Yeah, cool, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, that's a good segue. I was going to ask if anybody wanted to join the email list. Just put your email down in the chat. Ramses has said that he enjoys the email. I try to make them light and bright, and there's a bit of information about where we're at and what we're, it's actually quite podcast centric these days with so many podcasts going up, and from the one next week to the one that we've just had, to keeping you up with the recordings and things like that. So thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you, man. I'd love to actually talk about your t-shirt if I had a chance. All of those things are intriguing to me. So yeah, here's an opportunity to be able to ask Aaron anything. So if you've been having a bubbling question about the gratitude bear, or just him and his process of living, or anything that you've been thinking about, please come forward and ask him anything.
Yeah, I did have a question. I think Davey asked it earlier, and then we got a response from Kerry, and then another response from I'm not sure who, but from Alpesh. So when exactly are you planning on trying to get these rolled out, like expectation? Because it is a fantastic
that's a good
concept.
question.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're actually very, very fortunate enough to have a strategic partnership with a great company called Design Edge, leading design expert, third generation, 35 years in the field of toy design. Actually just won, I think it's called a Taggy the other day, which is the Grammy Awards of toy industry, you know what I mean? And we're lucky to have him on the team. And he's ready, all guns blazing to go. Because we have this prototype finished and done, we're ready to go into the mass production prototype. But the only thing that's holding us back now is the investment side of it, to roll forward with that. We have 2 or 3 things going at the minute, but everything reverts back to the bear in the book. So with the fundraising campaign that we're trying to do now through investment companies or high-end strategic partners coming in, the answer to that question is, as soon as we can lock in that first investment, I reckon we're 3 to 6 months rolling out with them. So we really want to be rolling out globally by mid next year for the Christmas market. These want to get me on a plane by January, February this year to attend all the toy fairs all around the world to start displaying this. We have a couple of other parts on the roadmap based on NFTs and stuff on the side scale of the metaverse. But fingers crossed, lock in a impact investor within the next couple of weeks I've just applied to, I'm not messing over 100 different applications, LinkedIn, emails, venture funds, capital impact funds, humanitarian. Oh, the word right. Look, that's the first time I said it right. Humanitarian funding. So if we can keep this positive momentum going up from a trip to Dubai, lock one of these investors in and get the financial things made, man, I'm hoping 3 to 6 months fully global on a lot of shelves. That's it. Say a prayer for me and keep everything going that way. If any of you know anybody that's into anyone that has any reach around the impact funding, especially around WA, it's very hard, guys. You know what I mean? Even Australia, there's a lot of funds, but around Perth, it's very slim pickings, you know. So, and then we're trying to extend out from, we've just reached out to people in Hong Kong, Europe, and America, you know. So it's just, and as I explained it on, there's a funding storm happening at the minute. Everybody's looking for funding. As someone said to me earlier on, and you are probably better off going out looking for 100 million. Because you went out for 100 million, people look, oh, what's he doing? What's he doing? And people on FOMO will invest in you, not even knowing what you have. But because I'm just being smart, I'm being straightforward, I'm being honest, being authentic, saying this is what we need to get it to A, B, and C. Here's our financial forecast. Here's horizon 1 and 2. This is what we want to achieve. And just, keeping everything crossed, where everything's just going the way it's meant to be, you know what I mean? I should say what's meant to be for you won't pass you, so we're just waiting on that right person. So sorry, I might went a bit right wing there to give myself a plug, but it's really just depending on how we get the first investment in, and once that happens, we're ready. It's like a horse race. Sorry for analogy. As soon as that gate gets full, we've 10 people running. They're all waiting to go. So it's very exciting.
I hear you. Is there a way for do you have like a website, Facebook page, something like that? Like
absolutely.
People are listening, they can reach out to.
The best way to get it out is just into Google, type in the Gratitude Bear, and I guarantee it's the first one to pop up. Then from that brings you onto the website. And then from that you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. And you have children. I've told some of the guys already, jump onto YouTube, type in the Gratitude Bears, and the 7 cartoons that we created 2 years ago. Now, these are old style. We have new styles that's coming out. We're changing with society, but it just gives you an idea of what we're about. And let's just have a couple of good, remember, it's positive screen time is what we're trying to create for children. So now creating positive screen time. So jump onto the Gratitude Bears and show family, kids, grandkids, yourselves. You know what I mean? Watch an episode of the Gratitude Bears there. Let me know. Actually, I'd love to know how he's all feel after. It took me a message there.
I'll watch an episode before bed tonight.
Yeah, go ahead. You'll end up watching the whole 7 of them. You'll be up all night.
If I get to 3, I'm just going to be like, okay, all right, I need to pace myself. I don't want to run out too quickly, otherwise I'll be demanding a second season.
Right, but there's enough socials, enough growth. We've been building the campaign over 6 months on social media, maybe a year actually now, but we're really diving into a different style of uniqueness with how the content's coming out. Like I said, putting personality to the bears, giving identity towards it. So hopefully investors start jumping on board once you start creating that traction and FOMO. Oh man, there's so much other. Man, I'll tell you, there's a strategic partnership. I'm not even going to tell you about it. One of the leading games just got launched in Hong Kong this week. Number one game of the year. And I'm talking to one of the CEOs and developers that have created that. So we pitched them in Dubai, and I'm meeting with him on the 27th, and he loves the idea. He's like, I'm in all the way. Let me help you generate and create this whole side of it, you know. I'm talking to guys from Silicon Valley, who is the biggest smarts of anyone that I've ever met. And he's sitting there telling me that we're in the top 98% of anything that's coming out this year. I said, well, let's hopefully we get it out this year, you know. So we ticked all the boxes. It's just getting that investment bubble, you know.
Cool.
Aaron, are you doing crowdfunding?
We've got a Kickstarter last year based on the first round of bears that were coming out. And for the input, I always base everything on input equals output. Our input into that was nearly 3 months, 2 months of 2 months of work and a month of pitching. And we walked away with 22,000, which was a success campaign. But that 22,000 wouldn't have even cleared our legal fees that we had stepping into this industry, you know what I mean? So we just put that up, we used that as a traction piece. Now, there is other ones that we can do now rolling forward that were fully concept, fully visioned on this. But once again, it's building a campaign over 8 weeks to launch for a month, which gives us 3 months on the crowdfunding that I'm gonna make an assumption here, which I probably shouldn't, but like that, you're lucky to get 100 grand, 200 grand out of a crowdfunding campaign like that, which still would only get you your tooling costs and some development and the first round of bears done, which would get you a marketing strategy to people that have on the team. So this is where it comes to getting that high end, getting that forced investor in, and then rolling the strategy across the next 6 months. So that's a lot of study that we put in the end of that. But like, I still want to do a second round of crowdfunding and give people the opportunity to get the first off the line beer and sell them as minimum as possible, because really ideology, if we do really well in the next year with this, I want to start giving gratitude beers away for free. And that's the truth. Like, start getting them out to as many places as free as possible and have a sustainable ecosystem off another avenue that we're working on, you know. That's, you know what I mean? Give everyone a gratitude beer for free and happy days. Like,
yeah, someone who's also ready to sort of invest in, I guess, like, you know, buying a cafe. It's just like, all right, that level of like investment is something you need, someone to come in and just, yeah.
There's loads of them out there, man. It's just in Dubai there, man. Like, it's the money that's in Dubai. But I just found out today that 2,000 major companies in Dubai are seeking funding. I was like, whoa. So I just went to Dubai there to get funding. Oh, you got to look in, you know what I mean? So now let's integrate personal matters on people. And if there's anyone in Perth, WA even, you know what I mean? Stretches, or then let's say Australia. And if it can't happen there.
Optus might need some positive PR at the moment, so they might throw some money in your direction.
No, well, I'll give you the bit, man. Anything that you ever need assistance or help, I'm always put my hand up, and I'm there for anything that anyone ever needs. So just give me a shout if you need anything.
Aaron, I'd like to ask you a question. In a circle of gratitude, is there a handful of people that you'd like to shout out that have been helpful on your journey that you could that you'd like to let us know who's in your circle? It might be difficult, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No, nowhere near, man. Where do we even start? Like, first of all, big shout out Alpesh. I don't know whether anyone else in my team actually jumped onto the call today. So big shout out to Alpesh. He's been an absolute driving force for me for the last 12 months. I've had so many pity parties in my own head that I thought I was fail and not achieve, and he's just picked me up every single time. I was actually sick there 2 weeks ago, and he was knocking on my door with medicine for me. You know what I mean? He's an absolute diamond. I just want to shout out to Brandon's not on the call here. He's a 23-year-old prodigy from Mexico that's been with me for 3 years in this project, and the boat was, as much as I've been self-funding it, he's never taken a penny off me because he believes in the success rate of where we're going to achieve. So as much as I'm front end, he's everything back end. And then we have all the team from Cherie, Saoirse, both corporate and structural advisors, to Paul Walsh, who's the director on the Web3 business that has successful driving force your campaign he done 2 years ago. We're using his kind of strategic roadmap, a lot of talent and expertise that he has. We have Shisha Finance, one of the biggest incubators and accelerator companies in digital currency in the world, and we pitched to him and he came on as an advisor. So shout out to Saeed. Matt, he's gonna laugh at me. I can never say his surname, but Matt Lucchini, he's Italian. I can't get it, but big shout out for him from Design Edge. He is, as I said, he just won one of the biggest awards that you can win in that. And you know, my heart melted of goosebumps. He just typed out to me, "You're next." When I just read that on his celebrity post saying "You're next," that just gave me. I think we were talking at the start, when you're sometimes like, oh, what am I going to do? And then you get this moment like, right, yeah, I'm going to keep going. You know. So he gave me these people giving me the boost. There's millions of people. Danik from the start, EQ Academy in Sydney has absolutely fabulous. You're gonna I don't know something. I'm gonna forget someone now. I'm gonna write something down.
I know. It was something you need to write down.
I want to say thanks to my mom, and I want to say thanks to my brothers and sisters, and I want to say thanks to all my friends and family and everyone. Just man, I know I'm taking the piss here, but like honestly, the amount of people that supported me and driven me and pushed me over the last 3 years to keep going when I thought I was failing and I wasn't going to do it. And even at moments now, I still get the universe is testing me, you know, and people are like, well, the universe is testing. I'm like, go away with your advice, I know it already. You know what I mean? But we're all there to support each other. I just love absolutely everyone that's been here with me. And just thanks to Kerry as well and yourself for giving me this opportunity, because it was Kerry that pushed me towards it. And I know you haven't heard much about Maddie there, and I've given plugs to everyone's here, but them two guys are running the Give community, and what they've done over the last few years, even in the last few months, is they just blow my mind. Man, Matty rang me up just before this to give me the biggest push and, you know what I mean, just the best talk of all time to get onto this to hype me up. And I'm just like, he's an amazing human being, and just correct and surrender. And the both girls helped them there. Build your community, know who your community is. There's an expression of people say you can't pick your family. It's the biggest lie of all time. You know what I mean? I've been picking my family for the last few years, and I'm very blessed for Perth and the people you have around us, and I couldn't think of a better place to be and live. So I'm just grateful for everyone that's been here. Sorry if I forgot anyone, but you know I love you.
That's right, man. No, we give you all the space to lose yourself in the moment. It's pretty tricky when you've got paddock of people helping you like that, or maybe an army.
Yeah, honestly, man, we have a panel of about 15 to 20 leading experts from all around the world in the talents that they have. And there's one thing Al Pesters always say to me is, how do you pull it off, man? We've gone to meetings where these guys, we knew they probably went to look at, and look, here's a plug. So we have Ollie and Adrian from doctorates and lectorates in Cornell University here in WA, machine learning expert and a cyber psychologist. I walked into that meeting, my IQ was on an all-time low, and I was like, oh my God, I'm out my span here. I listened to these guys for about 10, 15 minutes, picked a few words, let Brandon talk, and then I took over. And we left that meeting, and I looked at Brandon, we got them. And next thing, 24 hours after email, we're on board, we want to be part of the creative content team. The cyber psychologists, the machine learning experts, I couldn't even tell you what they do, but they're on the team. Like, but they, you know, it's phenomenal. But once you have a good passion and a dream, just drive towards it and just do what you need to do, and you get there. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah, and he also mentioned to them that I've met the Pope.
Oh, he's met the Pope. He's the biggest exaggerator of all time, man.
I'm kidding.
That's a long story.
Big backstory to that.
We also have a lot of fun on the team as well. To be honest, we just take the piss all the time. It's really great.
You must. I can imagine. Well, thank you for bringing me up and getting me up and about for the call, because I knew I could rely on you to lead the force here. Well, I needed a little bit of help myself. So I appreciate your energy, Aaron. And I thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we're I'm sure I speak for everyone. I really wish you well for the Gratitude Bear and the worldly ripple effect of positivity that you can create. And
so we can all create. Amazing.
We can all create. Yeah, love it. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
I'm so grateful for all of them.
I've put all the links up in the chat anyway. So in the chat, I've put all the links up to all our socials. So all the socials, the websites, they're all in the chat. So if you guys wanted to know more, join the socials. There's daily updates going up on the socials as well as the website as well. So please feel free to have a look through.
Yeah, I'll put them in the show notes, and so everyone that's listening on the recording can catch up and see where you're at and follow you. And hey, maybe there's someone out there that you know, is part of the network that would like to dip in and help you progress. So that'd be the dream.
And if anyone just ever wants to catch up, have a chat, have a talk, man, just reach out. I'm sure you can just find me on Messenger or something, give me a call, and we'll I'm always up for a chat and a waffle, you know. I'll probably do most of the talking, but
nah, it's good to hear from you. Oh, well, thanks, Aaron. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Love the chat. It's been amazing.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Awesome to see you. Thanks for having you. Amazing. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Go Team Live. We just had ourselves one hell of a ride with Aaron Spain from Gratitude Bear. You know, it's so cool to get the village vibe together and learning and sharing and finding out new things, and, you know, especially having a new product development. I absolutely love a startup story, and I love that energy of somebody, you know, like me and Justin that are trying to create GAIM On, and all the energy that goes into it, and the potential and the dreams and the realities that are part of that story. So, and you know what, probably the best value there is, you know, just being able to create a ripple effect in the world, in our community, and in our own houses and places of being, you know, that we can see. I think one of the interesting parts of the chat was how Aaron didn't, you know, fully understand how much he had been affected by his experience of working alongside and working inside the Gratitude Bear project. But his one of his partners or one of his team, Alpesh, had to chime in and say, yeah, by the way, you say thank you a lot. So yeah, it was really cool to see how that works. And I know Justin has that same theory that, you know, sometimes it's easier to see benefits in others than we do ourselves. But yeah, any words there, Justin, on
Yeah, no, you said it basically as it was, and he does. Aaron like lives and breathes like gratitude. You can see it and you can hear it in the podcast as well. And there was a point that he was getting to about like, you know, the system's in place already at the moment, and he said, you know, you're not going to break the system, but and he sort of cut himself off a little bit there in the podcast, but where he was leading it to is like, you know, there's an update coming, you know, for the world, the system in place. And it's like, you know, we're updating the world to the fact that awareness and mindfulness and, you know, all this like conscious awakening is like part of a collective update that I think, you know, will start being adapted and taught more. And yeah, Aaron's someone who lives and breathes gratitude side of that. So it was awesome to have him.
Well, we would love you to download the Game On app. And if you're an influencer, if you run a team, friends and family, we would love to have you create your own team on the Game On app and create your own community vibe like we do here on the Go Team Live, and bring the village vibes and the knowledge and the experience and the gratitude, the awareness, the intention, the mindful moment, and the organizing, non-doing, and putting that system in place for your win for the day, really breaking your life down into amazing days. I saw an absolutely gorgeous post of a young girl on Instagram, I think, saying, you know, she's she's exhausted. She can't be amazing today because she was being so amazing yesterday. But as adults, we have our potential is that we can create each day in its own right, and, you know, really smash out amazing days back to back with a process, with a system, and find your way to win the day with Game On. Love your work.
Go team.
Go team.
100%.
100%.
I feel like I need to sign off with that now. You helped me realize that is my thing.
100%.
Yeah.
We'll say it more confidently.
100%. I will.
100%.
100%.
You know that's
you just gotta know it when you say it. You can't.
Yeah, you got to really smash this. Like, dude, start and end has to be strong. All right. It's 100%.
100%.
100%.
100%.
100%.